Hello, I'm Derek Townsend, and I'm in the RIT 358 class. This is my final project deliverable, the video that I promised a long time ago, but I'm finally getting it done. Okay, so just start off this establish some basic ground rule, or like to establish some basic stuff. This, when it says insert into, it's saying that the file or whatever am adding has been added to the database. So when we're going through and doing all this stuff, because some of it's not working or it's not hooked up properly, and some of it is. But like when we go through that, we'll get to that. But yeah, for now, let's just clear that. So I don't know if I need to really go through my backend again. This is my backend, same as it was before. I've made some slight changes. Um, this right here, this all the stuff here is the authentication for the backend and user authentication and verification. I mentioned in my paper about the JWT tokens, which is JSON web tokens, which are sent between the front end and back end, and it's an encrypted user ID that you can use to find the specific user and verify that it's them before they can make any changes or edit anything or create something. And I wanted to implement that further, but like implementing that with all the other problems I had was a bit of a headache. So a lot of this is bare minimum. I'm very close to having it fully complete. And like I'm like if I just got the GET request down, it'd be perfect. But for now, this is the current state of the app. Where is Xcode? Xcode, please. There we go. So this is the application. So the idea of it originally was that it start off here, navigation controller. The app opens up, and you have the username and password. You sign in, or you don't. You like click here. It's like, oh, I don't have an account. Register. Go to register, and you enter your first name, all the user information. You create that, and then it sends you to the where was that? Here. You basically go through all this. It'll where create. Here it is. Yes, it'll take that. It'll make sure that the oh no, this is creating the token. Oops. Here it is. Okay, no, I was right the first time. So yeah, create. It'll take the params that are entered, the first name, last name, email, password, whether or not they're an admin, all that information, and it will create a user. It'll see if that user is valid. If it's valid, then it'll create the token with the encoding the user ID, and the user serializer will basically take all that information and send it back to the front end, and then it will basically just like I see this is where a part where I was debating on a lot was whether or not to just include the because I plan on using core data, and I was debating heavily on whether or not I wanted to just store the token or did I want to store like all the user information. Here I just have the token in because I'm like it would save some time and like allow me to keep track of some information, but there's a lot of user information that I'm like I would have to make a refactor request for anyway, which is unfortunate. It's a mixed bag because if I could just check and see if the token exists and that it's not nil, it would have helped. But a lot of my problems seem to stem from the fact that I'm thinking too much like a JavaScript style front end web developer instead of like a app developer. So I would need to reconsider that more. But yeah, let's look at these register view controllers and all these are fairly. This is the biggest function right here. Transition to home. I was planning on implementing this later on because like right now this is hollow if I reload the page. Because I was struggling with post requests for like the past week and get request. I tried that as well. That's still been struggling with that. I have no clue why it's been so hard for me because like maybe it's the method I've been using. There probably is an easier way. I looked at a couple of your links and that helped, but some of them didn't quite work with the code I currently had. But yeah, it's hollow right now. It takes you just straight to the restaurants all page. Let's go through this. So let's go back to this right here. Where's it at? Storyboard. So as you see, it takes you here. Might as well just run it again so that the register transition does work. Hold up. And you can just go back and forth. So you register, blah blah, same thing. Oh, this was a pain to get working, by the way. The thumbnail URLs, the image URLs. I don't know why that wasn't working for a long time. Like, I had to mess with the row height and everything because it wasn't properly displaying. Could have also been due to constraints, but like, we'll get into those later. But yeah, this is the restaurants.all view. So this is the first part of the tab. You have restaurants, top rated, favorites, and settings. You see here they are again. I was planning on keeping the restaurants, top rated, and favorites all pretty much the same thing. Settings was going to be the one that like lets you just sign out and clear favorites, where I would just probably clear out the JAWT token, JWT token, or JSON Web Token. Let's call it that. I don't know. Like I've called it several things and it's been redundant several times. And I was planning on implementing the detailed view here into each one of these views because like another project I recently built, it did not have like the access to detailed view for each one. I wanted to do that without having to repeat my code a lot, but I don't know. I considered that like you literally just implementing it this way, where just taking this and connecting it and saying like that transition would just change the current user depending on it, or like change the current array depending on what page you're on, and do a GET request depending on it. Because I do have like the where's that? Can I get to it here? Yes, let's go here. Restaurants. I have index, show, search, destroy. Where did I put the top 5? I know favorites is here. Yeah, here it is. Favorites is like your favorite restaurants. That's when I make a request, I have to go through API v1, users, favorite restaurants. If I look at the routes more closely, where is it at? There it is. If I were to look at favorites, yeah, I would have to go through all these links in order to get to favorites. And yeah, let's see, where was top 5? I guess I haven't implemented that. I didn't put that in. I have some other links here though. But just to show you what the data type looks like, the return type looks for this. Let's go to restaurants. And when I go here, this is the format for the restaurants.all page, which I was making a request to and did not work after several tries. And when I was trying to populate the data, did not work well. But yeah, after you go to the restaurants.all page, and it populates it with a bunch of restaurants. As you can see here, it's only one restaurant for now. That's just the test one that I made up. So by the way, I use Zomato to see my initial database. Like all these are from Zomato, and I had other plans for like implementing that code further, but I got caught up on other sections. Am I recording? Hello? Okay. Sorry. I saw that this was at 00 and that freaked me out for a second. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I wasted some time. I didn't want that. Okay, so where am I at? So I was going through the view, detailed view. Detailed view. Where's it at? Okay, there we are. So the detailed view just shows out like the rating, the address, the bio, which is something a bit funny because like the bio was not included for a lot of Zomato's API. Like I figured that some restaurants will at least have a basic description of what they serve and stuff like that, other than cuisine and stuff like that. Because originally I did have a cuisine page, but I had to pull back on that because that just I ran out of time. But yeah, like when you click on ad review, you get taken to the ad review page, title, message, and when you click on the add rating button, it just takes you to the rating page and use that amount. I never know when it's proper to use alerts. Alerts, I felt like would have been a better situation here, but you're never really supposed to use alerts from web, and I let that kind of bias me here. I probably shouldn't have. It probably would have saved a little bit more code, but implementing the asynchronous launch and all that stuff was a bit problematic, so it helps. So And this is the restaurant I create up here. So let's take a look at each of these. Let's start off with the, let's see, detailed view. Where's it at? There it is. So this is pretty generic. I have all the declarations here, the view to load, it sets all these things, and it does general stuff. It sets up the view, and I also have this unwind, which allows me to just go back to the scene the proper way, apparently. Because apparently if you don't do it that way, it leads to duplication of scenes and stuff like that. So I've been sticking with that for a while. And this is just the normal table view stuff. Not too interesting. Let's look at the restaurant. Did we look at restaurants at all? I don't think restaurants at all is that different, to be honest. This is the initial data. A lot of this is from other projects that I've been using as a reference. Top rated, no. Detailed restaurants, no. Ad review, that's it. All right, this is the first look into it. In order to explain this, I will have to go to the API request section. So this right here, this code right here is literally just a message border that you see if we click through here, add review, title message, see that little border? Just to get the same effect as a label, which I really wish it, or a normal text field. I really wish it had that by default. It's just like, because whenever I'm looking at it in preview or in the main storyboard, it's hard to tell. So going through, we have the add the review section right here. When it's done, it clicks, it creates an API request and all that stuff right here. Goes here and add review, save review right here. So first it creates the API request and then does save review, which is like set up the URL request, the post method, all this, and it goes through. And in order to get this working, I had to make my reviews codable, and had to change a lot of things about them as well, because otherwise I didn't like the way the data is sent back. But let's see, where was I at? I was here. Add review, yes. So let's do that. So this code kind of just goes through. It's like I have the failure case if it goes wrong. And let's go here. This should still work. That's just some random errors. Let's not hide that. That's some random like constraint issues that it has right there. So let's say great place. Best food ever. Add review. And it does a little thing right there. See that this took a good while. This took me like actually a day to figure out, because I was wondering why the second wave was failing and it was erroring out my code for a while. I needed this dispatch queue async thing, and oh that set me back a long time. I spent a good amount of time trying to figure that out. And as I said, like it doesn't show up here because I couldn't get the GET request working properly. Please, okay, there we go. But yeah, here. Remember how I created this out before? This is from other stuff, but like here it is. We can see the great place, user ID 1, just like this, some generic stuff for now that I set up. This right here is a little bit of code to let me know that when I was troubleshooting, to let me know that I was there. And yeah, so it added it to the database. And even if we were to go into Rails S, and we do, oops, I didn't want to do that, Rails C, that was it. And I did this. There it is. Great place, message, best food ever. It says that the review has been created and that it's saved to the database. And I think I can see it here as well. Reviews. Did I set up that view? I did. Oh, but this is packaged. Oh, no, it's not paginated. Let's just go to the bottom. I think there's like 1,000 results here. The great place. Yep. Another verification right there. What time? Just checking to see how long I have. All right, 6 minutes. What else do I need to get to? Let's see. Add restaurants. Similar setup. It's another API request method. Same code. The following has been sent. Just letting me know that it's been done. Whenever I create the restaurant, this was another problem, a stopping point. This stuff right here ate up a lot of my code and time, simply because like I didn't fully understand it, and I was originally just kind of sloppily going in and like, oh, just taking this bit of code from here and there without fully understanding it. After a while, I just had to go more in depth and look at it really. So we go here, add restaurant, the place, big house down the road. Great place to eat. And thumbnail, let's just get BBQ. And it's just like a string URL for this sake of this. Hold up, please. Humans. Oh my god, is this crashing? Oh yes, it did not like that. All right, let's try that again. There we go. That's a bit too large an image, but we can't really deal with that. And now it errors. Why? Why do you error? Oh right, yeah. Restaurant was another one that was iffy. This was the one that was like very, very iffy about this stuff. It did not like it at all. This is like as you can see here, it did add it. It added it to the database, but it did not like it for some reason. Like here, whenever the data type I return here, the restaurant serializer, I literally have been playing with this for a good bit, and it just didn't work. And when same thing happened whenever I tried messing with the GET request as well, and I don't know how to fix it. And I've been working at it for a good while, so I have to concede on that one. I would need to like probably fundamentally change the way my application works in order to get that working. And we have rating. Rating should work. I think it's just like 44. Yeah, it worked. Let's see. Let's go here. Following has been sent, so it worked there. No error. And here we see the rating created. It takes a user amount, user ID, all that. So that's good. But yeah, as I said, these were the issues I was encountering a lot. I've learned a lot about this code and like how Swift handles API requests and how I should handle segues within it. The only thing I'm missing is really just the GET request, and once I get that down, this application should be fully working and fine and functional. I probably want to rebuild this in like actual web as a website because I'm not really a big fan of Xcode and Swift. Swift is very strictly typed, and I'm used to more JavaScript where it's just like you can do whatever you want, and if it fails, it fails. Also, description, the errors are not helpful at times. Mobile development isn't for me. I'm starting to think. But yeah, thank you for your time. Um, yeah, nothing else to say. I created custom cells. That was fun to do at times. Sign in, top rated. Yeah, these things I just need to get my GET request in line and get my authentication working. Did I just mess this up? No, I didn't. I did. Okay, hold up. All right. Yep, I'm done. This video's long enough now. So stop.